Political commentator Benny Johnson. Benny, good to see you. Tell us more about what you found. You were in California. You're documenting this stuff. This guy, it sounds like, might just be the tip of the iceberg. What do you see there?
Yes, the iceberg that's going to sink the USS Sparkle Beach Ken, who Gavin Newsom promises us there is no fraud in California. It is a remarkable thing. Gavin Newsom just went on another podcast and said, no, there's no fraud in my state. It is one of the most demonstrable, empirically provable lies, and we are going to actually prove it when we release our full report. You're right, this is the tip of the iceberg. If the Somali daycares in Minneapolis were a start, let's say that fraud was a sports league. The Somalis in Minnesota, they're the Pop Warner team. California is the NFL. This is the big leagues. California has fraud on a level that no other state and no other country really has. So here's just a good example. $31 billion spent on the homeless industrial complex in California over the last couple of years. $31 billion, for perspective, is larger than the GDP of over 100 countries on Earth. California is spending that kind of money and getting what result exactly? They spent it and they increased the amount of homeless in their streets. Now, the reason that this is happening is because these nonprofits who supposedly fight homelessness are very, very profitable. A lot of them rake in hundreds of millions of dollars of federal money. And I think this is critical for your audience to understand. It's not California liberals lighting their own money on fire in a burn barrel. They can do that, and they do. These are federal dollars. A lot of these dollars are tied to HUD, Housing and Urban Development. These dollars come from your taxes and mine, even if I'm safe and sound here in the state of Florida. And so what we found was a lot of different stories just like this, and some major bombshells from whistleblowers from inside the homeless industrial complex. We can't wait to release our report. It'll be a bad day for Sparkle Beach Ken.
Benny, don't tell any of us that this wasn't an obvious, just this one fraud, $23 million, $17 million of that was pilfered from the LA Homeless Services Authority. Don't tell me that the prior Justice Department couldn't have sniffed this out if they wanted to, when you have the head of Abundant Blessings homeless charity living in a $7 million house and driving a six-figure automobile. These are like obvious frauds. Like, let us get on the case. I mean, this is how easy it is to suss this out, and they don't do it because they're part of the con.
You're exactly right, Deegan. This is just one individual. Again, one individual, $25 million stolen. That's like 20 Somali daycares, right, worth of fraud. One guy with his Land Rover, $125,000, vacation home in Greece. I'm reading to you here from the indictment. Multiple luxury vacations, designer clothes for private schools. But that's just one case. There's so many of these cases, and this is what I think is absolutely critical for the listeners and viewers to understand. These fraud prosecutions that you are beginning to see are only happening because of the Trump justice system. They're not happening because of California policing itself. It's California and the homeless industrial complex that profits off this, Gavin Newsom's friends, the people who are running the state. It's a criminal enterprise. They are fleecing the American taxpayer, and now it has to fall to the Trump Justice Department to actually prosecute. We're going to help them by showing some of the enormous amounts of fraud and how it ties into major illegalities, how they are breaking the law, federal law. We hope it will result in federal investigations. Our report and investigation coming soon.
Well, we're dying to hear more, Benny, and we need to, because this is so much money being wasted. And as you said, it's not people lighting their own money on fire. It's Californians lighting the rest of America's money on fire and benefiting in the process. Benny, good to see you. Thanks for being with us tonight.